Edible fiddlehead ferns in the northeast USA are mainly the young curled fronds of the ostrich fern, a classic spring wild edible found in wet woods, stream edges, and riverbanks across New England and nearby eastern Canada. They're prized for an extremely short spring season. Correct identification and proper cooking techniques prove most valuable because some other fern fiddleheads are not edible and can be harmful. A fiddlehead is the tightly coiled early growth of a fern before it unfurls into a mature frond. In the Northeast, the edible one most people reference is the ostrich fern. It's a traditional seasonal food in northern New England and the Canadian Maritimes. The key edible species is the ostrich fern, which has a brown, wax-like substance covering the young shoot, a smooth stem, and a deep U-shaped groove on the inside of the stalk. Good fiddleheads are usually tightly curled, about 1 to 2 inches above the ground when harvested, and still compact rather than starting to open. If a fern lacks the brown papery scale or doesn't match the stem shape, don't eat it. Other ferns you may see in the wild have a white, hairy-like fiber that cover them. Steer clear of those, they are toxic. In the Northeast, ostrich ferns commonly grow in moist, shaded places such as riverbanks, brooksides, wet woods, and other damp forest soils. Maine is especially known for fiddleheads, where the harvest window is short and strongly tied to late April through early June, depending on weather and location. The season can only be about 4 to 6 weeks long, but in many cases, once you see them start to grow, you only have a day or two to harvest them. Harvest while the fiddleheads are still tightly curled and remove only a portion from each plant so it can keep growing. A common sustainability rule is to harvest only from healthy, mature clumps and avoid overpicking small or newly established plants. Clean off papery brown scales before cooking. The best way to do this is to fill a large tub with water and rinse the fiddleheads 2 to 3 times, cycling them into another empty tub and draining the brown wax out of the water tub. Fiddleheads should not be eaten raw. They should be washed well and cooked thoroughly by boiling, steaming, or sautéing after parboiling. One reason for caution is that not all ferns are edible, and bracken fern in particular is identified by extension sources as carcinogenic and or not for consumption. Properly cooked ostrich fern fiddleheads are often described as tasting like a cross between asparagus, green beans, and mild artichoke with a crisp, tender texture. The flavor is delicate and spring-like, which is why they're popular in simple preparations that don't overpower them. The most common treatments are boiling or steaming first, then serving with butter, vinegar, olive oil, garlic, salt, or pepper. They also work in sautés, omelets, pasta, rice dishes, soups, and alongside fish like salmon, trout, cod, or haddock. Pickling is another traditional way to preserve the short season. The biggest mistake is misidentifying the plant, especially confusing edible ostrich fern with other fern species. Another mistake is waiting too long to harvest because the shoots get woody or unfurl quickly and lose their quality. If you're foraging in a public area or near roads, consider contamination risks from runoff, pesticides, or animal waste, since wild greens can pick up whatever is in their environment. For Northeast fiddleheads, remember this: green coiled shoot, brown papery scales, smooth stem with a U-shaped groove, harvested young, and cooked thoroughly. That combination points to the classic edible ostrich fern and avoids most of the dangerous lookalikes. Fiddleheads support digestive health because the fiber helps bowel regularity and can help with fullness and blood sugar control. They support immune function because they contain vitamin C and vitamin A, both important for normal immune response. They support heart health through potassium, fiber, and antioxidant compounds that may help with blood pressure and cholesterol balance. If you found this video useful, a like, share, and subscribe goes a long way. Thank you very much for tuning in to this information on the Fiddlehead Fern in the Northeast.